Still waiting for the recording to start. All right, good morning everyone. Thanks for attending today's Platinum Coaching session. It's a pretty amazing session I have planned for all of you today, and one that can absolutely make a big difference to your bottom line sales and profits. I must stress that the training I'm about to go through with you is not something that I just thought of yesterday or last week or last month or last year. The strategies I'm about to share with you have been used by me and by many others that are part of my team, including some of my very top producing members and students over the past 5 years. So with that being said, I know there are many of you on this call, if not most of you, that are very anxious to not only survive, but to strive in this industry. This is a training that will help you get to where you need to be. I promise you that. And the best thing about what I'm about to cover, it isn't even difficult to understand, nor is it difficult to implement. There is some work involved. There are very specific steps you must follow. The sequence and timing that we're about to share with you are of utmost importance. So with that being said, let's get right to it. The training guide that I'm going to be using in today's training session has been uploaded to your panel, meaning that you guys should be able to download it from your GoToWebinar panel, I should say. So make sure that you download the training manual. I'm also going to be emailing the training manual out just in case some of you were unable to download it for whatever reason. And also because even though I've been up since 3:30 this morning, I really have been up since 3:30 this morning. Don't feel bad for me. I went to bed at 6 o'clock last night. So I've been going to bed a lot earlier and getting up a lot earlier because I've been working in my gym every morning. But anyways, so I was up really early and I've been working on this training since about 4 o'clock, 4:30 this morning. And so even having put that many hours into it, I'm still got a few things I want to add to this particular training guide, and I'll get that done in the course of the day. So even though you guys have it to download right now on your panel, I will be emailing the final version to all of you sometime before the end of the week. If not tomorrow, definitely by Friday. I know there are many of you on this call that are promoting big ticket programs such as Exodus, Easy One Up, Tidum, as well as potentially many other programs. So I have to stress that what I'm about to go over are strategies, is a specific strategy that I've used, and it works. It works for me. It's worked for most, if not all, of my students, and it will work for you. And I would also argue that this strategy will work for just about any program out there or any product or service. It would behoove you to take what I'm about to go over seriously and to actually implement and learn and implement the strategies and the strategy I'm about to go over with you. So the strategy pertains to using surveyed leads, or what's commonly referred to as interviewed leads. Most of you have been with me for a while. Many of you have been in this industry for a long time. Some of you are already achieving remarkable results. Some of you are not, and that's okay. We're all a work in progress. We're all at different levels of our level of experience and skill sets and time of experience in this industry. So if you're not where you want to be yet, the operative word there is yet. That doesn't mean you won't get there, and with my help, I sincerely hope that you will get there. Interviewed leads have always been leads that I have leaned towards more so than just buying a lead list or generating leads using a scraper tool where the people haven't been interviewed. So let's first talk about what an interviewed or surveyed lead is. What occurs is the prospects, and there's thousands, tens of thousands, millions of them really, all out and about online and on the internet on a daily basis, and they'll see a banner ad or they'll come across a paid ad and they'll be doing a search on some form of a business, and off to the right side of the search there'll be paid ads, or in the actual search, whatever keyword or program or business that they're searching for, they could just type in home-based business and there'll be pages and pages and pages of different home-based businesses coming up, including on the right side paid advertisements, right? So people get bombarded, all of us do, from banner ads and other forms of advertising to capture our eyes and interest on the internet. So a person is doing their, working on the internet or just having some time doing some web surfing. They come across a banner ad that catches their eye about a home-based business, and they then click it, and then they basically get sent an email. The email asks them that they must answer a certain amount of questions to qualify and to be called for the interview. They are contacted by, and I'm going to say your lead provider, but there's so many different lead providers. I'm going to give you the one I recommend here in a moment. So a lead provider contacts them, their call center, which are nothing more than professional telemarketers, that take them through an interview process. That interview process is pretty in-depth. They are informed that they will be, at the end of the interview process, they are informed that they will be contacted from someone who will explain the specifics of their opportunity. All the steps that I've just gone over, the banner ads being placed, the email being sent, the telemarketer conducting the interview, you're not doing any of that. That's all being done behind the scenes by your lead provider. And so the one I recommend came highly suggested and recommended to me. I know who the owner of this particular lead company is, and he was a pretty big time in the world of cash gifting back in the day, when cash gifting was still going pretty strong. And so I think that you would like using this company. I personally will be spending several hundreds of dollars, probably somewhere between $300 and $500 a week with this particular lead source, buying exactly what I'm talking about right now, interview leads. And I, too, will be following the exact strategy that I'm about to share with all of you. Here's the interview process. I'm not going to go through all of this or read all of this for you. The interview process that they go through is pretty stringent. You can find it on their website. Their website is automaticleadstore.com. That's automaticleadstore.com, and they're pretty reasonably priced. Now, the price always goes lower for, the older the lead is. I recommend, if your budget can handle it, to get, the leads as fresh as possible. Will the cost go down if you get, leads are, 7 days old or 21 days old or 30 days old? Yes, the lead cost per lead will go down, but so will the quality of the lead. And people will forget that they were even interviewed. So my recommendation is that you, again, take the time to read this entire training guide that I'll be sending you, or that you can download from your panel, and then read through the interview process that they put the person through. But they basically ask them if they have a minimum of $100 to invest in starting a home-based business. If they do not have a minimum of $100 to invest, they are disqualified, in the lead company, Automatic Lead Store. They will end the interview right then and there. A person has to have at least $100. If they don't have at least 5 to 10 hours a week, or say that they have at least 5 to 10 hours a week that they can dedicate to their new home-based business, they terminate the call right then and there. And so they put a good amount of time and effort into the interview process. Again, they're doing this, you are not. And I do want to read this sentence, or this little, I guess it would be a sentence or last paragraph I read. Here's what they say: we are conditioning the prospect to be expecting your call and to take the time to look at your program. And we do it by simply telling them that our mission as a company is to find people like themselves who are at a time in their life when they're seeing an opportunity, and match them up with someone who has a legitimate one to offer. So they're basically setting you up, any of us up, for the follow-up call. So in this manual, I proceed to give you the customer service information. Again, their website is www.automaticleadstore.com. Their customer service phone number is as follows: 800-881-4742. And you can also reach them via email. And I would spend some time visiting their website after this webinar is ended, or at your convenience, so that you can take a thorough look at the different lead products that they have to offer. So that's me in the galaxy far, far away, Master Yoda. I don't think you guys knew that, huh? I am the Yoda of the planet Earth. Well, on this planet, I'm known as Rich Meyer. On another planet in a far galaxy, far, far away, I'm known as Yoda. Guess you guys didn't know I was the star of Star Wars. Anyways, let's get right to the prospect and selling strategy. When I say that these are the precise steps you should take when you're working your surveyed interview leads, I mean exactly that. If you segue or deviate from these steps, I cannot guarantee that you're going to get as good a result. In fact, I can guarantee you won't get as good a results as if you were to follow these steps. So what do? You got these leads coming in, and you will determine, based on your own budget, the number of hours per day that you are working in your business, and you'll get a pretty good handle on, how much time it takes to work these leads. A person who's working his business full-time can easily work 20, 30 leads per day. If you're putting in an hour a day, you're probably going to want to limit it to 5 to 10 leads per day at most. Again, that's something for all of you to decide based on your financial needs, the amount of time you have to dedicate to your business, and the amount of time you take to follow the process that we're about to go through. So it all starts while you get the lead sent to your inbox. So the lead comes in. Now starts the selling and prospecting selling strategy that I'm about to go over. You're going to start by emailing your leads. Your email should be short and should include the following information. Acknowledge that you have received their contact information from your marketing department or company. Thank them for taking the time to complete the interview process. Tell them that you're going to be contacting them shortly. You should note that you should call your leads the same day you get them, but after you have sent them this email that I'm talking about right now. At the very latest, you should contact your leads, the next day. Now, if your leads came in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, they won't. They'll come in early in the day. But for whatever reason, you didn't get to your inbox, you didn't see them, whatever, you didn't get to it until later in the evening, you're probably going to wait till the next day, especially if you're on the East Coast, and you don't want to be calling people at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Use your common sense in that regard. Timing is important, so you don't want to wait too long to contact these people that have just been interviewed. They've expressed interest, they're awaiting your call, so obviously you want to make the call, but do it after you've sent the email that I'm going through right now. Your email should include a link to your program's sales landing page, not your capture page. We don't need them to go through our capture page. Why? Because we already have their contact information. The leads that you're going to be provided will have the person's name, phone number, physical address, email address, the amount of hours they're going to put into their business, and I think they even give you the best time to call. So you've got all the information you need. You don't need to put them back through your capture page. If you're promoting Easy One-Up, for example, and you're using the folks at My Capture page, then you have a sales landing page that has a couple of short not training videos, but presentation videos that you absolutely should include the link to those presentation videos in your email. Again, most programs have a sales landing page, or at the very least a replicated website. So if the program you are promoting does not have a sales landing page, you just have a replicated website, then you can by all means send them a link to your replicated website. You're basically wanting them to at least get a little bit of background information on the program even before you call them. Ask them to please visit your link at their earliest convenience so they can get a brief overview of your opportunity. Finally, your email should provide all of your contact information. That's a given. And end your email by saying something like, I look forward to meeting you soon and exploring the possibilities. Next, so you just sent them the email. You got the lead. You sent them an email. By the way, I'm going to write an email. Since I'm using these leads myself, I'll be following the exact same program I'm sharing, or strategy that I'm laying out for all of you right now with this call. My goal is to take a $300 to $500 weekly ad cost for these leads and turn that into $3,000 to $5,000 at a minimum. You can do the same. Even though you might not think you can, you can. You might not be as good as me yet, so maybe your conversion rate won't be as good. But don't forget, folks, you guys are part of my inner circle. You need nothing more than to use me as your closer if you need me to. So I'll help you close your sales too. Anyways, so you end your email saying you're looking forward to meeting them. Next, so you've sent them the email. Next, you're going to send them a short text message. You're getting their mobile number. So you're sending them a short text message. And in that text message, you're simply going to say something like, hi, my name is Rich Meyer. I just received the contact information that you provided during your recent interview with my marketing department. I will be calling you soon to share my business with you. Also, I just sent you an email that has a link to my website that will give you a good overview of my program. Please visit my website at your earliest convenience. I look forward to meeting you. We'll talk soon. Thanks. So you've sent them an email, you've sent them a text, You've acknowledged that you've received their information, you've introduced yourself, and you've sent them an email, you sent them a text. They know who you are, and they know you're coming. And that's what you want. Okay, you're coming across also very professionally in your follow-up. Last but certainly not least, I can't kind of doing this by, repeating myself by intent, you will call your prospects within 24 hours at the latest to conduct your initial sales call. Because the initial sales call is such an important step in the sales process, I'm now going to go over the best practices for conducting that sales call. Conducting the initial sales call. This is a vital step. Don't underestimate the importance of this step. For this reason, I'm going to slow down just a little bit here and go through that initial sales call. And again, this is one of those things that if you're not comfortable speaking to folks on the phone, you have definitely got to get over it. You've got to, get the courage, even if you don't feel you speak that well, or you haven't, you don't enjoy the sales process. Remember, you're not going to come across, if you follow what I'm about to share with you, you're not going to come across as a fast-talking, smooth-talking, salesperson. You're going to come across as a true professional. You're going to know your stuff. You're going to come across as a caring person that genuinely wants to share a program that can make a difference in that person's life that you're about to share it with them. So your goal of that first call is to make a friend, not to make a sale. That might sound contrary to those of you that are heavy-duty salespeople or enjoy the sales process where, you're the hunter and you enjoy the hunt. There's nothing wrong with that. Just remember, we're going to scale back the sales rhetoric and come across more as sales professionals, yes, that care about people, but more as sales consultants. And they are generally interested in sharing a program that has the possibility of changing people's lives. Many of these programs that you folks are promoting are changing people's lives, including many of you on this call, and it's not really changing my life, but it's definitely enhancing it. So let's get right into the initial sales call. You should review your prospect's information prior to making the call. That should be a given. Just go over your lead, the information that's provided on your lead card, or however the lead is being provided to you. And the person's name, phone number, email address, the amount of hours, in particular the amount of hours. And if they're telling you, depending on your lead provider, they may tell you how much the person is willing to invest to start a new business. So you review that information so you're somewhat knowledgeable, at least on the background of the person a little bit before you make that call. When your prospect answers, get right to the point. People are busy. They don't have time to waste, and neither do you. Introduce yourself and tell your prospects that you're calling them to go over the program that you're working and or promoting. Ask them if you are reaching them or catching them at a good time. If they say no, don't try to push the issue. Make a firm appointment to call them back. Very important, folks, that you nail down the specific time that they will be available. Do not just tell them, or they say, I'm kind of busy right now, can we do this another time? Don't let them off the hook. Do not just tell them that, yeah, sure, you'll call them back some other time. Remember, they've completed a lengthy interview and have requested more information. So you have to do your very best to pin them down on a time that will work for them. And try to make it for later the same day if possible. If they're not available now, okay, Mr. Smith, I understand. When would be a good time for us? Will you have some time a little later today in a couple of hours or so? Try to give them a time later in the day or pin them down to a time later that same day. Remember, they've conducted the interview. They've expressed interest. And that interview process, for most cases, more often than not, was not a 2-minute interview. It's usually about a 10-minute interview. So they went through the whole interview process with this lead provider. They're probably genuinely interested in getting some information. So you might not be catching them at a good time, and that's legitimate more often than not. That's okay, but try to pin them down to later in the same day. But assuming that they are ready to talk, many times that would be the case, start your conversation by asking them what they're currently doing for a living. Again, you want to find out a little bit about them. When you ask that question, be quiet and let them tell you what they do for a living. Use your listening skills, folks. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Let's apply the ratio properly. Let's actually use our listening skills. Ask the question, then shut up and use our listening skills, because you're going to learn a lot by what they tell you, and almost as important, how they say it to you, their tone of voice. Well, Rich, I'm afraid I'm about to lose my job, my company is downsizing, or I just lost my job and I really need to find something to make more money. Or they might say something like, well, I was just browsing around the internet and I don't know, I'm kind of see what you guys have to offer. You can tell a lot by how they answer the question about, what they're currently doing for a living. After they've told you about their present job situation, ask them if it would be okay for you to ask them a couple of questions. 99% of the time they're going to say yes or sure. And here are the questions that you should get right into and that you should ask. Mr. Smith, why are you interested in starting a home-based business? Again, you've asked a question. Now be quiet. No need to elaborate. It's a straightforward question. Why are you interested in starting a home-based business? Be quiet, use your listening skills, and truly hear what they tell you. Here are some typical answers that that you can expect to get. Well, I need to make more money. Well, I hate my job, or I hate my boss, or some variation of frustration with their present situation. Well, I've always wanted to learn how to make money online. I like working on my computer, and I've always wondered what it would be like to make money from my computer. Oh, I want to be self-employed. I'm tired of the rat race. Whatever they tell you, it doesn't really matter what their answer is. Acknowledge their answer by saying something like, well, I completely understand. In fact, I hear that a lot. And guess what? By the time you're through your first week of working these survey leads, you've heard it all. So you will be able to honestly tell these people that, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. In fact, I hear that quite a bit. Then get right to your next question. Mr. Smith, did you by any chance get a chance to visit the link I sent you in the email that I sent to you? If they say yes, then ask them the following follow-up question. Well, good. What did you think about my program after you watched the short presentation videos or after you visited my website? So if here's where you have to use a little common sense. If your program doesn't have short presentation videos and you only have a replicated website, and most of these programs, even on the replicated website, have some form of presentation video on them, or it's not a very good program, to be honest with you. So you ask them if they've watched the short presentation videos or if they visited your website. Again, listen to their answer very carefully. Their answer to this question is going to give you a very good idea of how they are currently feeling about your program. It's a good way for you to gauge their level of interest. Now, if they seem to feel positive about your program, so they said, yeah, I watched the video, it looked really good. So they seem positive about your program at this point in the conversation. Don't assume that just because they say, yeah, the video looked pretty interesting, don't assume that the sale has been made. It has not been made. It might have been made, but you certainly can't make the assumption. If anything, you need to assume that there's still some work to be done, and there is, usually more often than not. At the very least, but at the very least, you're going to know whether they are open to moving forward by how they answer that question, or if they have actually watched the video and they tell you, yeah, it looked pretty good. You know that they're pretty open, at least, to the program. By the same token, if they don't seem like that enthusiastic about the video that they watched, that doesn't mean that the sale is dead. Folks, we're still very early in the sales process. We have a lot more to share with them that's going to ultimately lead to their final decision. So I guess what I'm saying here is don't get too high and don't get too low based on how you feel that they're feeling about the program based on the limited amount of information they receive by watching your videos. On your sales landing page. So don't get too high, don't get too low. If they sound like they're positive towards the program, that's great. If they sound like they're not that enthusiastic, that's okay. We've got more work to do, and we already know this. So what if they say no, they haven't had a chance to visit your link? You simply say something, that's okay. I'm going to make sure, Mr. Smith, that you thoroughly understand this program so that you can make an informed decision as to whether this is the right opportunity for you. Sound good? Okay, great. Now get to the key selling. So now you've asked those questions. Now you're ready to get into the program. So Mr. Smith, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to go over the highlights of this program with you. And I would like to see if you can perhaps get a pen and paper handy so you can take down a few notes, because what I'm about to go through with you is basically the highlights of this program. Here's an important tip. Wait for them to get a pen and paper. There is a psychological reason for doing this. Why? You want them to know that what you're about to go over is important. You also want to be the one in control. So you're the one asking the questions. You're the one leading the conversation. You're the one having them go get a pen and paper. They're already listening to you. And again, there's a psychological factor here. I'm not going to go into the psychology of the sales process. We've all been sold. Salespeople are the easiest to sell, by the way. I'm a lay down, especially to a talented salesperson. And so I'm as, like any other human, as susceptible to a great sales presentation. And what we're going through here right now is a canned sales presentation that leads the person to opening up about themselves and their lives a little bit. That's why we ask the question about, what they're presently doing for a living, get a feel for whether, what their level of interest is if they followed instructions and watched our videos. So there's a whole psychology involved here. You don't need to necessarily understand the psychology. You just need to know that it works. So now once they're ready to take notes, and again, wait for them to get that pen and paper, you slowly, emphasis on slowly, begin to go over the key selling points of whatever program you're promoting. Since many of you that are attending this training session right now are currently promoting Easy One Up, I'm going to use that program as a sample. Of course, if you're promoting a different program, you should know, and if you don't, you need to, jot down the key selling points, know them inside and out, forwards and backwards, know what the key highlights are and the key selling points of whatever program you're selling. Again, since most of you on this call are in fact promoting Easy One Up, I'm going to use what I would share with my Easy One Up prospects, what I am going to use and what I've always used to sell Easy One Up to my prospects. So here are the highlights of what I would share with my Easy One Up prospects, or that I do share with my Easy One Up prospects. This program, Mr. Smith, is definitely one of the most popular programs on the market. Mr. Smith, I'm seeing people from all walks of life achieve success with Easy One Up. I'm going to stop here for a moment. When I capitalize words, I'm changing my tonality, and I'm using power words, and I'm also emphasizing the words I want to emphasize. So this program is one of the most popular programs on the market. How's that contrasted to this program, Mr. Smith, is one of the most popular programs on the market, bar none. We are seeing people from all walks of life achieve success with Easy One Up. The reason so many people are having success with this program is because of the simplicity and affordability. Easy One Up has several different membership levels to choose from, with a low price of just $25 and a top level of just $1,000, which makes Easy One Up, Mr. Smith, affordable for the masses. You're going to talk to a lot of people, Mr. Smith, if you decide to join my business, that can't afford $1,000, but who can't afford $25? Anyone could. That's less than the cost of a decent dinner. And you can join, by the way, at any level you feel most comfortable with, because you can upgrade your membership at any time. And Mr. Smith, one of the things I like best about Easy One Up is the amazing compensation plan. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, recoups their initial investment with their very first sale. I'm going to repeat that. That's how important this point is I want to make with you, Mr. Smith. Everyone recoups their initial investment with their very first sale. The digital products are training products, and they are amazing. And all the digital products are included at the various membership levels are, in fact, just top-notch products, cutting edge. So you're going to love the training and support that's offered by Easy One Up. Folks, when you make that statement, you're planting the seed that they want to join. Even if they don't know it yet, you're planting the seed that they want to join. You're assuming with that statement, when you say you're going to love the training and support offered by Easy One Up, you're planting the seed and you're assuming that at some point in time in this whole entire process, they're going to join your team. If you decide to join my team, Mr. Smith, I want you to know that you're going to get tremendous support. In fact, and this is something you guys can say that virtually nobody else out there in the marketplace can say, in fact, our team is the top Easy One Up team in the world. Now, you want to make this point with pride and with confidence, and be strong when you're making this point. One of the things that you're going to love most about being on my team is that we're going to make sales for you. We have weekly business overview webinars conducted by our team leader, Rich Meyer. Rich is in the top 10 on our leaderboard and does a great job explaining the program to our prospects. Additionally, Easy One Up conducts 3 conference calls every week. So you're going to have multiple opportunities each week to invite your prospects to one of these calls or webinars so they can get a thorough understanding of this program. I cannot stress enough how effective these calls are for making sales for all of us. That's why so many people are achieving success with this program. Your primary focus is going to be to invite your prospects to one of our conference calls or webinars. Then you're simply going to follow up with your prospects after they've attended the webinar or conference call to collect their decision. And I must stress this final point. I don't have to do any selling, and neither will you. Folks, this is me talking to you guys. Be as strong as possible when making this final selling point. I don't do any selling, and neither will you. So now you've gone through those key selling points, and for the program that you're promoting, there might be fewer, there might be a few more. You don't want to go overboard. Highlight the key selling points, touch upon them, get through it in a minute or two, because you don't want to bog them down with too much information. The whole purpose of this initial call is for you to get them some information, pique their interest, get them wanting to get more information so that you can get them either into one of the conference calls or to the webinar, so that will do the selling for you. And if you guys have had me create one of, your Easy One-Up, and you had me create a custom webinar for you, then you're going to send them a link to your custom webinar. If you haven't had me do a custom Easy One-Up webinar for you, you absolutely should. My webinars, if you don't know this, they sell. They make sales. Okay, so once you've gone through the key selling points with your prospects, ask them if they have any questions. More often than not, it's likely that they're going to have a couple of questions. So you answer their questions in a direct, straightforward manner. Folks, at this point, you want to resist the temptation to oversell. They ask you a question, answer their question. Don't go back over and start making more of the, repeating some of the other selling points. Ask and answer. They ask you a question, be direct with your answer. If you don't know the answer to the question, say, that's a great question. I haven't actually got that question before. Do you mind if I get back with you on that? Because I really don't know, and I don't want to give you any misinformation. Folks, people will understand, and they'll appreciate your honesty and your candor. If you don't know the answer to the question, don't try to fake it. Don't be honest with them. I don't know. I'll find out for sure. That's a great question. I just haven't heard it before, so I'll definitely find out for you. More often than not, you're going to know the question, because it's usually going to be a very basic question on one of the key selling points that you just made. Instead, now that you've gone over the key selling points, you've answered some of those questions, you've answered their questions directly, you don't try to oversell. Instead, you want to set up the next phase of the sales process. What's the next phase of the sales process? Getting them into a conference call or a webinar so they can get all the information to make a final decision. So after you've answered their questions, lead them right into the next step by saying something like, Mr. Smith, I don't expect you to make a decision right now. In fact, I don't want you to make a decision right now. I would like you to attend our next webinar or conference call so you can get a more thorough understanding of this program. That way you will also see for yourself how we're going to make many sales for you by having you invite your prospects to the exact same webinar or conference call that I'm going to have you attend. Does this make sense to all of you? I hope it does. What we're doing here is we're showing them a sales process that not only are we using to have them get more information so they can become a part of our team, we're showing them how we're going to do the same thing for them. So it's a win-win all the way around. You're reinforcing that the team concept here is really real, valid, legitimate, and one that they're going to be able to take advantage of. So now you've set them up, you're telling them that you're going to send them a webinar and invitation or conference call invitation. At this point, folks, make sure that you understand, or that they know, go over with them when that next webinar is and confirm with them that they can make it. Again, if you already have a webinar on demand that I've created for you, let's say for Easy One-Up, then you're going to tell them that instead of inviting them to a webinar, you're going to send them an email that has a link to your webinar that goes over they don't need to know that it's live or not live. They just want to get the additional information. You just want to get them into a conference call or a webinar. If it's a live conference call, fine. If it's a live webinar, fine. If it's a custom webinar I've created for you, all the better. So then you tell them you're going to email them an invitation to your next webinar or conference call, which is on, and you confirm the date and time of the next conference call or webinar. Again, important point. Make sure you confirm that they can actually attend the session that you're inviting them to. Doesn't make sense to invite them to a session that they are not going to have any time or they're not going to be able to make due to a scheduling conflict. Tell them that you're going to call them after the webinar / conference call to answer any final questions they may have and to get their final decision. Important point. Make a firm appointment for that final follow-up sales call. Don't leave it open-ended. You don't tell them you're going to invite them to a webinar tomorrow or to later today or to the next day or whatever you're going to invite them, and then tell them, oh, I'll get back with you in a week or two. I told you at the onset of this training today that the sequence is important, timing is important. It is of utmost importance. If you follow the flow that I'm going through right now, and you stay to the timelines, and you adhere to the sequence of the email going out, the text going out, then the phone call, then the invitation to the webinar, and then the follow-up sales call that we're at right now, the final sales follow-up call. You follow that sequence, you stay to these timelines, and you're going to improve your chances, improve your closing ratio exponentially is what's going to happen. You want to end the conversation that you've just had with them. In that conversation, by the way, that initial sales call, you're building rapport, you're making a friend, you're getting them some information, you're getting them their interest peaked, and you're getting them into a webinar or a conference call. And you're ending the conversation by thanking them for taking the time to speak with you. Professional courtesy goes a long way. Let them know that you're going to be sending them that invitation shortly, and make sure that you do. You're not going to get out that phone with them, and then wait 5 hours to send them the invitation, nor should you. You get off the phone with them, the email should already be written. You're just going to, customize to their name, and you already have your email template done, whether you're using one that you write yourself or you use the one that I'm going to make available to all of you, the same letter I'm going to be sending out. So you've already got the letter written. You cut and paste it into an outgoing email, and you send it to them within 15 minutes of getting off the phone with them. That is showing professionalism, that is showing care, and showing consideration because you're doing what you said you were going to do. People have to trust you, guys and gals. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. And nothing will lose trust faster than not doing what you say you're going to do, or putting it off, or delaying what you said you were going to do. Last but not least, you're not going to actually send them one email. You're going to send them 2 emails. You told them you're going to send them one, but you're actually going to send them 2. One, the first one you're going to send them is thanking them again for taking the time to speak with you, and I will also have that email again written that I'm going to send to them after I've spoken to them. This is the same email, or within that same email, that first email is going to have a link to the webinar or the conference call information in that outbound email that you're going to send them. What's the second email you're going to send them? The second email should be a reminder email of the webinar or the conference call that you're inviting them to. You should send that email, should go out to them a few hours prior to the webinar or conference call. It's just a friendly reminder. Again, I will have my email written so that you can copy mine, or again, write your own using mine as a guide. There are a few tips to go over with you, and then I'm going to open up for questions and get right to any of your questions you have on the sales process using surveyed leads. Here are some important tips that I know will absolutely increase your sales and profits using the selling strategy I've just shared with you, and you would be wise to implement them. Even if you do everything right, everything I've just gone over, you were spot on, you did it right, man, you nailed it. You're not going to sell every prospect, not even close. You can and should expect to close a minimum of 1 out of 7 to 10 prospects. Me, I expect 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. But I'm a good closer. I've been at this a while. I have plenty of testimonials. I'm fairly well known in the industry, and so I have an advantage. And many of my clients are previous clients. And so I have a list I'm continually building and I'm constantly marketing to, and that list is fairly responsive. But remember, I'm going to be working this process using surveyed leads. These people are not part of my list. These are just prospects that I got through surveyed leads, right? So I think my goal is going to be still get 1 out of 7. And that's okay. We can make a great living in this business by closing just 1 out of 10. Because here's a harsh reality of this. Those surveyed leads that you can get from automaticleadstore.com, they're going to run you about a couple of bucks per lead. So 10 leads, if that's what it's going to cost you, if it takes you 10 leads to make a sale, 10 prospects, 10 surveyed leads, you spend 20 bucks for those leads. If you make a $500 sale or a $1,000 sale, more than ample time to, more than made back your money that you spent on that lead. And of course, not every person is going to buy it from you. So every prospect that you do get through those survey leads should get into your database. You've heard me say this before, and I'll say it until I'm no longer alive on this planet. Why should you continually market to your database? Because today's no can be tomorrow's yes. You've heard me say it before, and again, I'll say it forever. Professional marketers focus on building relationships. That's what we do. And positive relationships lead to sales. What's a positive relationship? Positive relationship is with both people feel good about the relationship. So if somebody doesn't buy from you, don't get mad, don't get, bent out of shape. People's situations are such that they may not be ready to buy from you. And that's okay. I've had a lot of sales, including many of you on this call, that did not buy from me initially. And I treated you with respect. I stayed in contact with you. I kept inviting you to webinars or kept sending you emails and getting you more information about whatever program I was promoting, and here you are. So today's no can absolutely become tomorrow's yes. The money is in the list. Professional marketers know this. Your focus as a professional marketer should be to continually build and market to your list. Folks, if you want to earn a high six-figure income in this industry, that's the name of the game. Now, if your prospect doesn't attend the webinar or conference call that you invited them to, simply call them up and find out why they didn't attend. If they say they're not interested, it will usually be because they don't have the money. If they're not even attending the webinar, they said they were going to attend, but they didn't attend, or the conference call, or they didn't take the time to watch your custom webinar, they don't have the money, or that's what they're going to tell you. That's going to be their excuse. Don't be afraid of asking them directly if that is the reason they didn't attend. Say something like, Mr. Smith, when we last spoke about this opportunity, you seem genuinely interested. So may I ask, is money the reason you didn't attend? Again, be quiet, let them answer. More often than not, they're going to say yes, they don't have the money. Ask them this important follow-up question. So assuming that that's the objection you're getting, the money objection. Mr. Smith, if money weren't an issue, would you want to join my team? Would you want to work this program and make some money with me? If they say yes, you should immediately work out some form of a payment plan. Now, here are a few options for your consideration. Some things that you can do to overcome the money objection. Offer to get them started with one of the lower membership levels if the program you're promoting has different membership levels, like Easy One Up, as I said, has very low levels. Somebody can get started for the $25 level or $100. I've never made a $25 sale, nor will I, but that's just me. But at the very lowest sale I've ever made and I will ever make is $100 level. And here's the reason why. If a person isn't willing to at least invest $100, and remember these surveyed leads, that was the criteria for them even being qualified to be passed on to you, is that they had to be willing to at least invest $100. If they're not willing to at least invest $100, then they're not serious about being in a home-based business. They're looky-loos, they're tire kickers, they're not serious, you don't need them, move on to the next opportunity. Put them in your database because things could change, and continually market to them, but don't try to beat a dead horse. But you do want to mention that you have different membership levels available. And if your program doesn't, then obviously you can't use this option. But if they do have, if you're working Easy One Up and they do have lower levels available, stress to them that they can get started with one of the lower levels, and they can always upgrade once they've made a few sales. Maybe even tell them that you're going to help them close their first few sales for them. One of the things I like to share with my prospects, and I will share with all of you right now as it pertains to Easy One Up, is this. We know that we all get our money back with our first sale. And we also know we all get anybody that joins our team, we get their second sale and our passive sale. So I'll be very direct with my prospects and tell them, look, Mr. Smith, here's the reality. As I've already mentioned to you, you're going to get back your initial investment on your very first sale. But guess what? I'm going to get your second sale. That is a passive sale that you are passing up to me. That's how we all gain leverage with this amazing program. So don't you think that I want you to succeed? Do you not believe that I want to do everything within my power to help you succeed so that you can make that second sale and I can get that leverage? Of course, just as you're going to want to help the people that join your team so that you can make that passive sale and earn that passive sale and so you can gain leverage. I tell them the way it is. No need to hide anything. It is what it is. And again, you might want to offer them another option. If money is an issue and they do want to come in at a higher level, one of the first things I'll offer them is PayPal credit. I explain to them how PayPal credit works. PayPal credit is an amazing program. If they get approved, and they approve most, there are no payments and there are no interest for 6 months. So somebody can join your big ticket program. You can send them an invoice, and just for your own edification, folks, it has to be an invoice. It can't be a money request. So if you send somebody a money request and they want to try using PayPal credit, you actually have to develop an invoice. It's easy to do. It takes 30 seconds. So you create an invoice. Tell them you're going to send them a PayPal invoice. They don't know that that you're sending them an invoice as opposed to a money request. They just know you're going to send them an invoice from PayPal. Tell them to choose the PayPal credit. I actually stay on the phone with them when they're doing that. So I say, hey, do you really want to get started and you want to make some money with me? Let's try PayPal credit. I ask them, how's your credit? Oh, it's good. I've got good credit. Or average credit. It's okay. I've got okay credit. Well, let's do this. Would you like to get started if you could and not have to come out of pocket with anything? Oh, you would? Great. Let me do this while I have you on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and send you a PayPal invoice right now. And I'll walk you through the process. It takes about a minute or two. That's really what it takes to get them to get the invoice into their inbox, hit pay now, choose PayPal credit as an option, and they put in a little bit of information, name, address, last 4 digits of their social. In 30 seconds, PayPal's giving them an answer. If the answer is a positive yes, you get paid right then, right there, as if they paid you themselves. Stress that you're going to have them making sales and profits long before 6 months is up. Last but not least, you can offer them a discount. This is a very weak sales tactic, and it should only be used as a last resort. So don't go around offering a discount. And depending on the program that you're promoting, some of these programs are very anti-discounts, meaning if the owner or your sponsor or the leadership of the program finds out that you're offering big discounts just to make a sale, they could rip the program right out from underneath you and tell you you can no longer promote the program. Most programs want to maintain integrity of the program, and the only way of doing that is by not offering discounts. So you have to be careful on that one. I personally don't offer discounts. I'll offer them PayPal credit. I'll offer to give them some of my leads. I'll tell them that, stress to them how effective my webinars are for making sales. I'll tell them that I will, help them close their first few sales. And hell, I'll tell them, look, whenever they need me to close a sale, I'll make myself available for them. And I do, as I do for all of you. So if they're still not willing to move forward after, going through these different options with them, then that's okay. Thank them for their time. Ask them if it would be okay for you to contact them occasionally, just in case they change their mind or their situation changes. Most people are going to say yes, they're going to be okay with you contacting them in the future just to get you off the phone. Guess what? What did you just do? You didn't make a sale. True that. You didn't make a sale, but you got somebody that said, yeah, go ahead and, feel free to reach out to me. Now you've got somebody that you can email next week, next month, 6 months from now, maybe on a different program. Maybe you're also selling Go Rainless Extreme. Maybe as opposed to a $1,000 sale, you make a $400 sale. Or maybe you have a leader program that you can sell for $200. Money's money. Cash flow's king. Make a sale of something. Build your list continually. Okay, this is a straightforward, no-nonsense approach. To summarize, you buy your surveyed leads. Leads start coming in. You determine how many leads you want to get per day or per week. Lead comes in, you email them, you send them a text, then you call them, you have an initial sales call with them, you get them into a webinar or conference call or have them watch your custom webinar, you follow up with them, you collect a decision. If money is an objection, you offer them some solutions to get around the money objection, and you're going to sell 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10, most assuredly, by following this process. Remember, surveyed leads are at least people that have expressed some interest in making money from home. They have gone through an interview process. Hell, if you can only close 1 out of 15 or 1 out of 20, are you still going to be into profit? Yes. And if you are spending, if you're spending $200 a week, and that $200 a week turns into $1,000 or $1,500 in sales, are you still happy? Of course you are. And if you're like me and you follow the training I've provided and continue to provide you guys, you probably have other programs that you could cross-sell. So if you get them started with Easy One-Up, maybe a few weeks after the relationship has been built, they've made a couple of sales, they've made their passive sale to you, that might be a great time to offer them one of your marketing tools, whether it's the 197 Club, Show Me Gram, Go Rainless Extreme, or any other marketing tool or any other program that you care to share with your clients. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up for questions. What is the average sales that we can expect? Difficult question to answer because it depends on how good you are on the phone, how closely you follow the sequence of what I've just gone over, and So there's some factors involved here. It's hard for me to answer that question. I think I have answered it in the regard that I believe for a talented salesperson that speaks well on the phone, that knows their product and the highlights and the key selling points, and can communicate that. So it really comes down to how well you communicate with people, and how good you can relate to folks, and do they like you, and did you build rapport. But if you did those things properly, I think 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10 is the number you should be shooting for. And I think that's a realistic outcome. A wonderful presentation on how to use a webinar sales presentation. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, it's a process, folks. I don't go into that first sales call expecting to make the sale. My goal is to make a friend, build some rapport, get them the highlights of the program, let them know that I know what I'm talking about, sell myself as much as anything, and then get them into a webinar that will do the selling, telling, and explaining for me. What do you say when they ask you, how long have you been doing this? How much have you made? I answer them the question. I don't tell them the truth as far as how much I've really made, not because it's too low, but because it's too high and they won't believe me. They just won't. So everybody on this call has got to, follow your own. I don't believe in lying to people, but I'm not going to tell them how much money I made last year because they're not going to believe me anyways. They can't believe that I made $50,000 in one day last year. They just won't. Many of you probably have a hard time believing that. So here's the deal. When they ask you how long you've been doing this, I tell them I've been at this 14 years. They ask you how much I made a lot. But you know what? It's not about me. Here's a good way of answering that question. You know what, Mr. Smith? I get asked that quite a bit, and I don't mind you asking me, but here's the truth. It doesn't matter how much I've made. I've been doing this a long time. Let me share this with you. It's not about me. It's not even about the leaders or the top producers in this industry. I'm seeing people from all walks of life achieve success with this program, and I am. I'm not sure if you mentioned, but how do we know if they actually watched the pre-recorded webinar conference call? You call them up. That's one of the things I have to amend on the training guide I wrote today. I'm going to amend that section because it's not waiting for them to call you back. You're calling them back. What level does a prospect have to join at in order to be able to use this presentation? Guys, I'm going to be giving you this presentation. You guys are platinum members. You're here because you paid for my coaching and mentoring, and I want to assist you in the growth and development of your business. Having said that, I'm making this presentation available to you. You can feel free to give it to the people that join your team. Part of the value of joining your team is they're joining my team. Yeah, they're not going to be able to attend these platinum coaching sessions. I do have one person more that I'm going to take on. I'll put that out there right now. I will take on one more person this year. So if any of you know of anybody in your downline or in your team that you care about, I'm sure you care about everybody on your team, or somebody that you know needs a little bit of help, I will take on one more person in my coaching and mentoring platform, and then that is it. I just released 4 people that are already well on their way to making a high 6-figure income. So I'm making room for one more person. Rich, since people have a tendency to trash emails, do you have any suggestions for a heading on the initial email? Great presentation. I'm going to give you guys some great subject lines to put in your email because a lot of people do trash it. But I might have the subject line saying, here's the information you requested, or regarding your interview you just conducted. Something that triggers them to know that, no, this is a follow-up to the interview they just had. Great presentation, by the way. Thank you. Any other questions? So I'm going to make some changes and add a few things to this training guide. Again, you guys can download it right from your panel. I've uploaded it to this webinar, so you guys should be able to download it right from your panel. It'll be in our handouts. Down at the bottom of your panel, there should be a word that says handouts, and you should see this training guide in that handout. There's a couple of typos I noticed on there, and also there's a couple of things I want to add to it. So by the end of the week, I'll be sending you the final revised version of what I just went over. Next question. Great training. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Belinda. God bless you and your family, Rich. Thank you, Belinda. Likewise to you. Big hugs. Thanks, Belinda. Belinda is one of my favorite people in the world. By the way, she's a true professional that's made in this business. Do you think that she's an aggressive salesperson? No. I'll tell you what she is. She's a professional Christian who cares about people and loves her clients. And it comes through with everything she does, as I do. She and I pretty much work this business the same way. You care about others and the money will follow. I don't know how much more plain I can make it than that. And folks, I know we're talking here on this entire sales presentation or this training day has been about making a sale. It's not about just lining our pockets. I truly believe that we can make a positive impact and a positive difference in people's lives by teaching them a program and a methodology to work a program, because for most people, an extra $1,000 to $1,500 a week is all the difference in the world. Not everybody needs to make $10,000, $20,000 a week. Everybody would like to, but most people could get by making an extra $1,000 to $1,500 a week, especially if that's being done on a part-time basis. Okay, I have a question for the group. I've been asking this recently. I always like for feedback. I want honest feedback here. I'm not looking for kudos or a pat in the back. I know you guys love me as I love you, but I want to know for sure what your feelings are on today's training. So please give me on a scale of 1 to 10 how you feel about today's training. 1 being this was the most pathetic, worst waste of time training you've ever had the displeasure of attending, or 10, amazing training that you really found valuable. 10, 10, hands down, 10, 10, excellent resource, 10 plus. Thank you guys. I appreciate the feedback. I'm always trying to get better, which, by the way, brings me to one final point. That email that's going out to you guys tomorrow, I cannot stress enough. This workshop I'll be doing in March has been a game changer for so many people. I don't know if you guys know who Rich O'Brien is, or Paul Farman, or what's the other, Carlos Pena. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are 6 and many of them 7-figure income earners who credit much of where they got to in this business after they have attended the training I'll be doing next month. You guys as Platinum members and part of my inner circle are going to be given a huge discount. I haven't actually decided on the price I'm going to offer you guys yet, but it's going to be a lot less than the $195 I'm charging the general public. This was really good and an excellent surprise. I give a definite 10. Thank you, Larry. Any last questions? Hey, Mighty Mouse, I just noticed you were here. Mighty Mouse is Maurice. Okay, well, yeah, the people on this call, Carolyn Thorburn, Cecile Cameron, James Grubbs, Jeremy Hines, you guys are not just students. You guys, I consider you guys friends. I really do. So if you know somebody, you guys know how much I care about the people I coach and mentor. If you know one person, I'm taking one more person on. If you know one person that wants some additional or needs some additional coaching and mentoring, I'll take one more person under my wing this year, and then that's going to be it. I still have my national tour I'm doing, which, by the way, I will be in Vegas next month, Memphis in April, and then I will be, where am I going? San Diego in May. So coming to a city near you soon. Any other questions? Great job today, says Maurice. Thank you, Maurice. All right. I will get this off to you guys so you guys have it in plain writing. You're welcome, Cecile. I'll get this training guide once I get the finishing touches on it. I would recommend you go take a look at Automatic Lead Store. I got no money at stake there. Use them, don't use them. I'm going to use them, and I suggest that you do too. But there's lots of other companies out there that can provide survey leads. Send me your national tour schedule if you need any help with that. Thanks. I will, James. Thank you. Have a wonderful and blessed day. You too, Belinda. All right, guys. Make it a great weekend. Have a great weekend. I'm off. Talk to you soon. God bless. Take care. We'll see you next week.